I signed up for the beta program as soon as it came out. When Poshmark has something, or really honestly, when any app out there that you may be on has something new, you always want to take advantage of it right away. Even if you don't fully deal with it later, you want to take advantage of it right away if you can. So now one can always argue, well, maybe you would have made those sales anyway. Yes, maybe so. We don't know. We can't know. So that's why I have some specific thoughts about the criteria I'll share with you. Download your free reseller resource guide today. I constantly update and share with you discounts, favorites, tools, and resources to help you with your reselling business. After the video, click the link in the description and get your totally free guide today. Today, we are going to be talking about the Poshmark Promoted Listing Beta Program. So promoted listings on Poshmark, the beta program. So not everyone has the opportunity to join it yet, but as a Poshmark ambassador 2 or whatever I am, I was able to go ahead and sign up for the wait list. I had to wait for a while, but then I got the invite. I went ahead and set it up. It was super quick and easy, and I was able to do a free trial as part of the beta program for promoted listings. Once that free trial ended, I was able to then pay to have promoted listings. And so I thought this would be a good time. I still have it all going. It's still ongoing, but I did want to kind of share with you a little bit about what I think about it, what my results are, what I'm going to be doing going forward. I've gotten a few questions, and so I thought this would be a good time to dive in. So what we're going to talk about today as far as the Poshmark Promoted Listings Beta Program are my results from the trial. Am I paying for promoted listings? My criteria for paying for promoted listings. Should you use promoted listings on Poshmark? And special circumstances that may be affecting some of the results. I am going to be looking at my notes because there's a lot here. So my results from the trial, and I will tell you, I am the worst at like taking screenshots when things are happening or kind of going back and showing. So this is going to be a talking video. You're going to need to listen and pay attention. I don't really have anything to show you. So I signed up for the beta program as soon as it came out. When Poshmark has something, or really honestly, when any app out there that you may be on has something new, you always want to take advantage of it right away. Even if you don't fully deal with it later, you want to take advantage of it right away if you can. So just sign up for it or claim your handle on a new social media or get on the wait list or whatever. You never know when it might come in handy. And by signing up early, it's always a good thing. So I signed up for the beta. It did take a while. Then I got an email and said, here's what you need to do, which was like click, click, click. It was no big deal to set up. It took 5 or 10 minutes. It was nothing scary. It was nothing bad. It was all very easy, and they walk you through and do exactly what you need to do. It did start out slow, but as I kind of checked it every morning when I was looking at my sales from the night before and the day before, I would notice that slowly things started to be selling as a result of the promoted listings. Now, one can always argue, well, maybe you would have made those sales anyway. Yes, maybe so. We don't know. We can't know. So that's why I have some specific thoughts about the criteria I'll share with you. But at this point in the trial, during the free trial, they had approved me for a $40 budget based on the size of my closet. So that meant that Poshmark was paying $40 a week so that I could have access to the promoted listings, and I didn't really have to change any levels. I didn't have to make a percentage. It's not like eBay where it's like a little bit more complicated and you have a lot of things that you need to think about and figure out what you're going to do. The Poshmark one was very simple. It was, here's the budget we suggest for you. It's free during the trial, which was 1 month long. So you get 4 weeks of free, and just say yes, basically. So at $40 per week spend, I started to see that I was getting an average, because they kind of do like a rolling accumulation of what your sales are. I had about $1,000 in sales from promoted listings. And I thought that that was good. It could be that a percentage or all of those sales would have come to me anyway. Maybe so. But at this point, when we're dealing with Poshmark live shows, we're dealing with potential issues in the economy, we're dealing with, we're just coming off of summer slowdown. Like, there's always lots of things that resellers are dealing with and that we're talking about in the reseller community that says, is this affecting sales? Is that affecting sales? So I feel like I have all my other processes and systems super dialed in. I have a really good offer to liker strategy. I have a really good sharing strategy. I have a really good my shopper strategy. I have videos on all these. So if you don't have a really good strategy for any of this stuff, check out my videos because I have a strategy for everything and I share it all with you. But, my photo process is good. Like, there's not really anything else I can do at this point to sell more of what I have. I've got my sell-through rate good. I am selling what I need to be selling. So for me, it's more about the only way I can really grow now is to sell better items, like higher value items, or to do more work and make more listings. And honestly, I don't really want to do either. I kind of like how things are going. But if I could do promoted listings, which is kind of like set it and forget it, then I'll let the promoted listings do the work for me. And if it costs me a little bit of money when it's time to pay, this is my thinking at the time, then I'm open to that. So this is kind of like the mindset I was in. I'm open, I want to see, I'm willing to try, I'm willing to see how it goes. So during the free trial, again, it was running at $40 a week, free to me during the trial, and I was getting about $1,000 in sales, not per week. The $1,000 in sales was for the month. So if you're paying $40 a week, let's say, that's $160 to get you about $1,000 in sales. And I was like, okay, I could kind of go on that. Like, I don't want to pay $160, but if it's getting me an extra $1,000 in sales and I'm making other sales besides the promoted listing sales, which I was, then that is something I could get on board with because it's around a 10 to 20%, rate or whatever. And I have my notes that I would sell about 3 to 4 a day from promoted listings. My boutique items were really selling well. And I kind of have a theory about this. I'm not really sure if it's true. It's just kind of my own thought. But because I had boutique items that were replenishables, and some of these items were selling like 3 and 4 a day. And that doesn't usually happen. I sell boutique items all throughout. That's why I love selling boutique items, because you get the sales again and again, but you don't have to do the work again and again. And so it's multiple quantities. But when I started selling 3 and 4 a day off of promoted listings, I was like, wow, that's amazing. This may be a way that my boutique items are getting cut through the clutter because they're being promoted. And people are clicking on them and it's selling more and more. And if it was just a one-off item, like a pre-owned item, a thrifted item, you just sell it and it would be over. But because it's promoted and it has the ability to sell again and again, that's like a light bulb moment for me, because they're pushing out this listing and 10 people could see that promoted and 10 people could buy it today, and I could make 10 sales off of that one promoted listing. So to me, that was really exciting. So those were the initial kind of thoughts I had, was during the free trial, is that if I could do 10 to 20% of spend to revenue, I'm okay with that. And if it could help me sell more of my boutique items where I only had to do the work once and I can make profit again and again, and it's off of this promoted listing spend, that's really attractive to me. I don't shop at thrift stores anymore. Almost all of my inventory as a 6-figure reseller comes from Helpsy Source. I've been ordering boxes and pallets from Helpsy for years now. I love that I can spend my time working on my business and not wandering around thrift stores and digging through bins for hours only to come away with okay items. Now with a few clicks, I get exactly what I want to sell, all shipped to my door, often with free shipping and always with a discount code. Use my code Rebecca the Reseller for 10% off your next Helpsy Source order. So that's kind of what was going on during the trial period when it was free to me. Now, am I paying for promoted listings? The answer is yes, right now, for an undisclosed amount of time, and we'll see. So it's a little up in the air. I did keep the $40 budget. Sales right now are around an $800 level. So I did notice a steep drop off from where they were climbing to during the free trial and when I started to pay. And I don't know if that's because they said they were doing a $40 budget when they were paying, but really they were pushing it out because they want me to sign up and then pay, and then they drop down to what it actually is. Was it something in the Poshmark time period? Because again, this was over the summer. So there are usually ebbs and flows in the summer, especially as you approach back to school, which this was now starting to be. People start to turn their attention to buying pencil cases and stuff and not maybe as much clothing. And the back to school college people are looking for storage containers, and they're not necessarily buying, my used clothing perhaps. So it could be many other things. That's why I said there are circumstances, which we'll also cover again. But I did notice a steep drop off from the free trial to the paid period. But so I kept it at the $40 budget. It's still at that right now. Sales did drop off, so I'm watching it because now that means I'm spending more to make less. Again, it's still extra sales, but it's that percentage is creeping up. So I was okay with spending, let's say, $100 for $1,000 in sales. I'm less okay with spending $100 for $800 in sales. Spending $160 for $800 in sales. So I'm watching it right now. But it hasn't gotten to the point where it's terrible. It's still bringing me more sales than I spend. I'm still profitable. Like, it's still a good thing. It's just not as good as it was. So my criteria for paying for promoted listings, I still really think about 10%, 10 to 15% is kind of where I would like to be. So if I'm spending $160 a month for, $40 per week on promoted listings, I want to see that number say $1,600 in sales or higher. Maybe I'd be okay with a little bit lower. If I'm spending $40 total per month, so $10 a week, then I want to see $400 in sales. So I want it to be a 10x type of amount. To me, that feels okay, feels good. Because remember, this is all on top of your COGS. It's all on top of your Poshmark fees. It's all on top of your shipping discounts. So you're giving away more of your profits to get more sales. But in certain situations, I think that's okay. It just kind of depends. So I may shut it down if those numbers get really out of whack. And if that's the case, I will do another update video later on. The other thing I will say is that now that I'm paying, I'm not actually spending the full $40 budget. Most weeks, it's a charge. They automatically charge your card every week. It's whatever it actually spent. So some weeks it's like $11. Some weeks it's $23. So I haven't seen that the full $40 has been spent, even though that's the budget I gave, in like the week time period. So I'm not technically spending $160 and only getting $800 in sales because I haven't been spending the full $40. So if you were to do the same thing as me, sign up for the trial and then start to pay, don't assume that your full budget is being spent. I'm actually really surprised by that. I feel like, if I told you you could spend 40 of my dollars, it would be in Poshmark's best interest to spend 40 of my dollars, and they're not. So that's a little weird. So anyway, should you do Poshmark promoted listings? First, I think step one is don't forget to stop by the Rebecca the Reseller Academy, where you can find all of the products and all of the educational tools I have available for you, including all the free goodies. Here you can find coaching calls, Poshmark closet reviews, digital downloads, including my free reseller resource guide, as well as all of my courses and all of the bundles to save you lots of money. Hope you'll stop by soon at the Rebecca the Reseller Academy. If you are eligible, if you're a Poshmark ambassador or ambassador 2, you can sign up for the wait list. I think Actually, I think anybody might be able to sign up for the wait list, but I'm assuming they give priority to the Poshmark ambassador. So you go, just search Google for Poshmark promoted listings beta program. It'll bring you to a blog post on their website, and then there's like a link in there to sign up for the wait list. You have to fill out a Google form, and that will submit you. And so I think everyone that is eligible should do it, because they're going to give it to you for free in the beginning as part of the beta program. Why wouldn't you take advantage of that to get used to it, to see how it goes, and then to decide for yourself? Your results could be worse than mine. Your results could be better than mine. And it doesn't mean you have to pay. So you do, I believe, have to put in your credit card when you sign up, so that they want you to just kind of roll into it. But then you just make a note on your calendar that you need to go and cancel it, and then you get canceled. This is kind of how the world works. There's always free trials out there. There's always credit card things that you have to sign up for. So if you want to get the 4 weeks for free, you're going to have to put in your card, just make a note and then cancel it. But I do think that everybody should do the free trial, because then you get to see firsthand. You might get a whole bunch of extra sales, and then that might give you an answer for yourself that's based on your own closet and your own numbers, instead of just seeing what works for me. So should you do promoted listings on Poshmark, I think everyone should take advantage of the free trial. Again, you have to sign up, and then they have to email you that says you got pulled into the program. So you do have to wait, but I think everybody should do it, because that is all free. Now, I do think you need to determine your own criteria. You may want to do the same thing as me, 10% spend for 10x, the sales revenue. So if you spend $100, you want to make $1,000 from promoted listings. If your budget is $10 per week and you spend $40, then you want to see $400 in extra sales from your promoted listings. I think that's a really good baseline. You may have different criteria, and then you can operate from that. But I do think that if you can afford it, after your free trial ends, I think you give it 1 month. I said I was going to give it 1 month, and now I've given it I think I'm at 2 months, and it's really just because it's been a busy time and I haven't paid as much attention. So I will go back, and probably I would say by September, October, I will be making a decision if I'm going to keep it going forward, if I'm going to lower my budget, or if I'm going to shut it down altogether. But I do think that getting all the free that you can is a definite way to go. And then I think giving it 1 month of paid to see how you feel about that is also a good idea if you can afford it. But if you can't, then don't. And special circumstances that may be affecting my results. When I started promoted listings, I had one closet with over 1,500 listings in it. So that's why they gave me the $40 budget. The budget is based on the number of active listings you have in your closet. But when I started to pay, I had then separated into 2 closets. If you haven't watched some of my recent videos, I've mentioned that I have now created 2 closets. I have on my rack, and I have on my rack 2, the number 2. I've done this for several reasons, and I'm going to make separate videos, probably 2, maybe 3, that go into all the aspects of having 2 closets, so I'm not going to get into that here. But one is for thrifted items, and one is for my multiple quantity and boutique and some higher end items. And so that's how I've chosen to separate it. And so when I separated it, both of them went down in listings, and both of them got everything relisted. And I think that did something to my promoted listings, because all of a sudden it really went down. And so I feel like there's something about maybe keeping the listing there and it just keeps promoting it, or maybe it builds up over time. So I don't know fully what it was all about, but that was a change, a thing that happened during all of this that could have affected it, is that I broke out into the 2 closets, I had less listings, and everything was relisted. And then, like I said earlier, it could be a timing of the, when in the summer it all happened. It could be other market conditions. Like, it could be so many things. It's really hard to know what affects your sales at any given time, or what may be affecting the ad situation. But overall, I am happy with it. Overall, I'm glad that I did the free trial. Overall, it was really powerful to see what it could do for my boutique listings. And so if you're someone who has taken my boutique course, How to Run a Profitable Poshmark Boutique, you will know that this could be an amazing thing for you. If you haven't taken it and you want to and you're curious about boutique, it's in my academy in the link below. But running the boutique is really important to me because it's just a great way to get more for doing less work. And so if the promoted listings could be like a sales army for me, then that is really, really attractive. So I'm still wanting to kind of go down the line with it and see what happens. But I do encourage you to sign up for the free trial, get on the wait list for that, give it an opportunity, and then determine once it's pay time if it works for you in your business. I always educate you guys on what's going on with me and what I think you should do, but I always also make sure to say that you need to decide for your own business if it's going to be a good thing for you. Those are your decisions to make. Thanks so much, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.